Sweden is facing an extremely strong backlash and vitriolic hatred from several Muslim nations. Muslims around the world have joined Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Egypt, Jordan in condemning the burning of a copy of the Qur'an by an Iraqi national outside Stockholm's largest mosque this past Wednesday. Under a heavy police presence, Salwan Momika, a 37-year-old who had fled to Sweden several years ago, had stomped on the Qur'an before setting several pages alight in front of the mosque in the Swedish capital. Swedish Police had granted him a permission for the protest in line with free speech protections, but had later said that it had opened an investigation into the Qur'an burning, which had sparked anger across the Muslim world. Following this, protesters in Baghdad had stormed Sweden's embassy in retaliation for this act. The incident sparked anger across the Muslim world at a time when people of the community were observing Eid al-Adha and the annual Hajj pilgrimage to Saudi Arabia's Mecca was coming to a close. The Iraqi Foreign Ministry condemned Stockholm's decision of giving the green light to an extremist protest to burn the Quran and said that such acts inflamed the feelings of Muslims around the world and represented a dangerous provocation. The Iraqi Ministry of Foreign Affairs had then summoned the Swedish ambassador to Baghdad. Morocco had also recalled its ambassador to Sweden in the wake of this act. The Organization of Islamic Cooperation said that it would convene an emergency open meeting for the executive committee next week in Jeddah to discuss the consequences of this incident. It is not the first time that such an act has happened in Sweden. In January this year, a Swedish-Danish right-wing extremist, Rasmus Paludan, had burned a copy of the Quran near the Turkish embassy in Stockholm. That incident had also triggered a strong outrage in the Muslim world. This latest incident is yet another addition to a disturbing pattern witnessed in Sweden over the past several decades. Sweden has become a safe haven for the PKK, or the Kurdistan Workers' Party, that has been classified by the EU, the US and Turkey as a terrorist group. Turkey very clearly says that Swedish state willingly turns a blind eye to the language of dehumanization employed by the PKK supporters on the streets of Stockholm to discredit Turkey and its president Recep Tayyip Erdogan. And that is the reason Turkey has been blocking Sweden's bid to join NATO. On the other hand, Sweden has been seeing a resurgence in the popularity of far-right parties and leaders who openly denounce Islam and make xenophobic statements. For them, influx of migrants, especially adherents of Islam, pose a challenge to the security of the nation due to their fanaticism. They want to expel all such migrants from the country. They also cite acts committed by followers of Islam in several European nations to drive home their point. And for all of them, burning of Quran is not just a symbolic act. It is actually a harbinger of future days.
Subscribe to Oneindia channel and never miss an update.